Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players become fantasy legends.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
My man got a win.
I'm a fucking genius. Let me just say, I went from 2 weeks of being like, I fucking hate fantasy football. I don't ever want to play again to I'm gonna win the whole thing, you know? And it was just that easy. Man, everything I believe, it's like I was sitting there going, oh my God, even my bench, like even the Jacoby Myers, fucking everything on my bench did well. It was a good week. Got wins in both leagues.
Good.
Yeah.
I went 1-1, but I won the important
lost the
game.
other one.
Dude scored like 190 points.
Oh,
I had
shit.
I had the third highest point total in that one
190
too.
is a
And
lot.
yeah, I was like 151, and he beat the
But
shit
you
out
had
of me.
Josh Allen in our league, and you
Well,
won
he
it.
had Josh Allen in that.
Oh,
one,
yeah. Okay, yeah. If you had Josh Allen, you probably won because he went the fuck off. If you had my man, Justin Herbert, actually, I say that. So I'm playing Alexander, and he has Matt Stafford. And I'm like,
that.
and I felt so good after the first round of game. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm going to win. And then fucking Matt Stafford, I'm like, not only is Matt Stafford killing my guy,
Right.
he's fucking killing me. And I'm like,
you got
chill out. Stop.
fuck you, Stafford.
Yeah,
what the hell,
chill the
man?
fuck out. No, but they look good though. So
And
I
9
mean,
loves 10. If you guys didn't know that,
oh,
9 loves
shit.
10.
And this is the bad thing about fantasy football. I'm wishing on his death. Like I'm hoping that Cooper Kupp breaks both of his legs and he's
Somebody
no way
hit
he can
that
come back.
motherfucker.
Why don't you know Robert Woods is on the team,
Bro,
I
you're
mean,
gonna have to bench him.
I really am. This week I'm gonna have to
You're gonna
bench
have
him.
to.
I got to keep him because I drafted him
yeah,
as my
but-
first receiver. But Jesus, I mean, I'm also thinking about if anybody's maybe.
Could you have gotten Cooper Kupp instead of
Yeah.
Woods? Okay.
Yeah, I chose Robert Woods because, again, I had Cooper Kupp last year, and it would frustrate the fuck out of me that Robert Woods was getting more looks. He was getting more targets, sometimes he would get more touchdowns than Cooper Kupp, but not in Matt Stafford's world. Matt Stafford's like,
9
nah,
loves 10.
That's my man.
And speaking of that, fucking Sam Darnold loves DJ Moore.
Yeah, he
Same
does.
way. Like,
Yeah.
can't not throw him the ball.
Yeah, and if you have Robbie Anderson, it pisses you off because you're like, well, what the fuck? I mean, he loves DJ Moore and he loves Christian McCaffrey, so it's going to be interesting to see how this new dynamic is with
Which actually
just Chuba
brings us to
Hubbard.
that first game.
Yeah, to Carolina and Houston. Davis Mills looks really bad. Looks fucking really bad.
I'll tell you what. In my notes, like the Texans play hard, but their O line is shit. I mean, like absolute dog shit.
Again, what else is new? That's what we fucking do. We bring out shitty offensive linemen and a quarterback that can't hang in the NFL and just gets fucked up.
There goes our Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And honestly, that first week versus Jacksonville maybe gave us too much hope. It was like, oh, cool, maybe we will be good.
But I tell you what, like
Nah, we're
the
gonna be real
line
bad.
this week is 7. We'll talk about tomorrow, but I was listening today on the way here. 17.5 Buffalo's favored over the Texans next week.
Honestly, I think
17.5.
I think they cover that. I mean, they did that to Washington.
Nah, they ain't gonna cover that. That's
Okay,
insane.
I don't know.
That's insane. We'll talk about it.
I don't know. But anyways, Carolina, I'm impressed.
Yeah, they got a legit defense.
They got a good defense. They're not asking Sam Darnold to throw the ball 50 times a game.
Yep.
It's even without Christian McCaffrey. They just went Chuba Hubbard, who looked okay.
Yep.
And I mean, the Houston's not a really good judge to see like where you're at as a team, but still, I mean, I thought Carolina, they're 3-0. They're gonna have some hard games with Tampa Bay, and they're gonna have some hard
They
games
do got some
with
tough
some,
contests coming up.
they've got. It's gonna get harder for them in the next couple of weeks. Their schedule gets harder, but
Sucks that McCaffrey got hurt.
Yeah.
But we expected it.
shocking, right?
Yeah.
That's so
Didn't
weird.
you,
that
you said
McCaffrey got
he
hurt.
actually got. You said 4 games, I think,
Yep.
and it only
I said
lasted
4.
3.
And it was only. I mean, no, he only lasted 2. He didn't play in this last game. Did he play against you? Oh yeah, he did.
He started. He went out in like the
He went out pretty early,
first
though.
quarter or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, Dalvin Cook missed the game already.
It's starting to, but yeah, and so like now we're getting
Alvin
into
Kamara
the,
looks good, and so I was wrong on that. But I also, I mean, I don't want to jinx you, but I mean, I also smell a situation where New Orleans is really heavily relying on him. I don't know, but Najee, it came true. Najee, it came true. But we'll move on to the next game, which was Washington.
So not much else to talk about there.
Yeah, I mean, Carolina, Houston, it was kind of
I'm worried about Anderson. That sucks.
Yeah. The Davis Mills.
Yeah, he's not good.
No, not it. Washington, Buffalo, man.
Woo!
Woo! If you had Josh Allen, if you had Stephon Diggs, if you had any of his guys,
Emmanuel Sanders
went the fuck off.
Zach Moss actually, because you played Singletary, so Zach Moss got the most.
That was
work.
the only downside of this week was that if I had stuck with my original team and done Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who scored like 16, then I really would have scored. I would have scored even more than 150.
Were you the highest scoring team this week in that league?
No, Sam was he was like 158. I was 153. But I still had a great week. And I started Devin Singletary, who sucked. He didn't suck. They're obviously splitting the carry. Zach Moss just it paid off. He was used more in the red
Moss
zone.
is a bigger back, and so it seems like they're giving him those. Especially
It wasn't great to see. It wasn't great to see. As a Devin Singletary owner, it made me go, might have just lost my guy because Zach Moss looks good.
That's one of the reasons why you don't want to. We really don't want to be relying on the Buffalo running backs because we never know what we're going to get from them.
Right. True. But I mean, in a lot of these situations, like we were talking about Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, I think the coaches are kind of waiting to see like who looks better, to see who I'm going to give more looks to. And I think if we're judging off yesterday's game in Buffalo, you go Zach Moss looked better.
He looked better. He just
But
did.
Devin Singletary, I think, is still going to be used. I'm still going to have him. He's obviously going to go back to the bench, and we're going to feel it out. And maybe injuries, who knows. But Buffalo really kicked the shit out of him.
He looked good.
Washington scored some points. Taylor Heineke doesn't look terrible.
Heineke actually, fantasy-wise, Heineke's putting up his points.
No, he's not bad.
And if you're looking for a streaming quarterback or something,
for a streaming
like,
quarterback,
he might not
I'd definitely
be a bad
do it.
idea.
Yeah. Also, they're going to have some games like against Philly, the New York Giants. So there's definitely going to be games coming up in their division where you're going to feel good about probably starting them.
Washington's just not as good as we thought they were going to be, and the biggest issue is their defense. They're not.
Yeah, and I thought their defense was better. That's why I picked them to win that division, but I think I'm wrong. I think
looks like Dallas.
The Cowgirls are going to win that. I still am not, even after last. Well, we'll get there. Okay, Chicago, Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Cleveland
Oh my
man.
So do you want Fields still as your fucking quarterback?
Holy shit! At one point, it said like. They had like 6 yards passing, and it was like the middle of the third quarter. I was like, holy shit, that can't be accurate. What happened in the first half of the game? Justin Fields sucks so bad. He sucks so bad that I'm scared of everybody. David Montgomery, like that team, if it's a Justin Fields team, you're one of the worst teams in the league.
Start the defense against them.
And I mean, Cleveland has a good defense, so that's kind of hard to judge him just based purely on that. But he looked really bad. Like every time they would go to the red zone, it would be like, oh, he looked bad. He looked bad like Zach Wilson looked bad, but we'll get there too.
So Kareem Hunt had a good game.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, he got the ball. He had 88 yards. He's never gotten the end zone.
They're gonna split with those guys too. Now
that's their offense.
That's a totally different scenario with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. It's not who are we gonna give more looks to. It's that we have two
They're gonna
really good
equal,
running backs. We're not gonna just play one. Nick Chubb's not gonna get all the looks. So
and they have two different skill sets, and we talked about that even preseason. That they're actually better when they're playing at the same time.
Yeah. So lots of interesting things there.
Yeah, fuck Chicago, dude. That's a that's a shit show, man.
The Chicago Bears, I'm out. That's a bad team.
Nagy's not gonna have a job.
Why does he still?
I know.
Why does he still? But yeah, anyways, Chicago trash fire dumpster.
Odell played. I didn't see his line. How'd he do?
No, he did good. He was playing against me, and I think he had like 6 or 7 catches. And I mean, he didn't look like he's not.
Cleveland's not going to throw the ball that much.
They're not, but it's a good look for them to have him. And if when Jarvis Landry comes back, they're going to be a good team. Cleveland, I thought they looked good.
Solid football team for sure.
So then Baltimore versus Detroit. with I hate kickers. I'm not gonna sit here and suck this dude's dick because he kicked a fucking 66-yard kick. Whatever.
Tucker did.
Yeah, Justin
To
Tucker
win
at
it?
the end of the game.
I didn't watch that game.
Record breaking. It's now the record for the kick. 66 yards.
And all the other ones were in Denver, weren't they?
It also bounced off of the upright in.
Oh shit!
So it was like one of those where you're like,
Did you see the? Did you see the Cardinals and Jacksonville game when the Cardinals tried to like a 68-yarder and then he
ran it back. Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. They were playing that again and again on the red zone too.
Fuck kickers.
I'll tell you, here's the thing on the red zone. You go to that fucking Atlanta, New York Giants game one more time, red zone. You were making me watch that whole game like I gave a fuck.
No longer brought to you by Red Zone.
Matters, okay? Well, no, I want to be brought to you by Red Zone, brought to you by DraftKings, but fucking shit. Like the Kansas City Chargers game, that was the game. Stick to that. Anyways, Baltimore, Detroit. Listen, Detroit is not the worst team in the league.
No.
I'm not going to call them that. They're way worse teams. So are the Falcons.
The Falcons.
So are the Giants. So are the fucking
Texans.
the Chicago Bears with Justin Fields.
Colts.
They're all worse than them. The Lions
No,
are
Detroit's
not,
okay. They didn't throw the ball very much.
But DeAndre Swift was good.
Yeah, the game script they just weren't throwing it. Hawkinson.
But
had a shit
honestly,
game.
DeAndre Swift looks so good. You shouldn't. You shouldn't ask Jared Goff to throw the ball a bunch. You should be a run-heavy team. Their defense just needs to get better at late in the game making stops because that's what happened. Yeah. They couldn't make stops later in the game. Listen, Baltimore
Lamar had a shit game.
Yeah,
it wasn't. A great.
I'm still on it on Baltimore. I know what they're 2-1 now. I'm not impressed.
sold on them.
Marquise Brown had like 4 drops. Yeah. Like it just.
Andrews had a decent game.
Yeah, but that's because he's really the only target you can trust on that team.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins is an older guy. I'm not big on Baltimore. I really am.
And
they're
with all the running backs hurt, it's just not.
Then we go to Indianapolis and Tennessee.
For all my Indianapolis Colts fans out there, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the score makes it seem like it was closer than it was. They pretty much Tennessee got up early and they just kind of held them down.
AJ Brown got hurt.
Carson Wentz sucks.
Yeah,
Carson
did he play?
Wentz sucks.
He
played. He played. 2 sprained ankles, wobbling around like a pirate. Fucking stupid.
AJ Brown hurt his hamstring.
Yeah, AJ Brown got hurt.
So Julio then becomes more valuable, I would imagine.
There was another guy.
Would you trade for AJ Brown?
I definitely, especially if you're scared of like how long he's going to be out. I like AJ Brown. However, I'm scared because I'm with Mike Vrabel, as all of the rest of Tennessee fans should be.
Run.
This is a wildcat offensive as far as I'm fucking concerned. You don't even get to touch the ball, Ryan Tannehill. I would almost consider getting 2 fullbacks to stand in front of my man so that I could just like take the quarterback out of here so that I can just have 2 fullbacks and him.
A fullback and a stiff arm. That's all I need.
Because that team is a Derrick Henry team. It's how they win. Yeah. So
if they actually want to be a good football team.
I like AJ Brown. I like Julio Jones. I think both of them are great receivers. I'm just nervous that later on in the season, they're going to turn into a very run-heavy team, and they might not get very many.
The volume might not be there.
Yeah. But still, Tennessee looked good. They're still my pick to win the division, especially in our fucking shitty division. We're probably the worst division in the league.
Oh,
I thought it was Dallas and.
But Dallas has got such a good offense that they're
and even Washington, I would say, although they've had some bad steps on defense, they probably beat a lot of our teams in our division. Anyways, our division no good. The Texans no good. The Colts suck. Yeah. Then we go to probably the best game. Was there a better game?
Well, Kansas City.
Green Bay, San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, Green Bay, San Francisco.
That was great.
And actually, the Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay Rams was a good game. And Miami Vegas was a weird game, but no, this was the best game of the year. It was the best game of the morning. Yeah. Best game of the year because Justin Herbert and the Chargers put their dick on the fucking table. Yeah. 4th and 9, and they go for it. 4th and goal. And they go for that, and they score a fucking touchdown. It was like, okay.
Mike Williams looks really good.
You're watching the game. We're watching the game, and we're like, oh my God, they're obviously going to kick a field goal. We're going to overtime. And then they're going for it. And you're like, what the fuck? Are you really going for this? And then they go for it and they score the touchdown. And listen, you want to beat Kansas City? Yeah. That's how you do it. Mm-hmm. You don't give Mahomes any chance for because Mahomes can get you a 50, 40-yard play and get you down in field goal range one throw.
Well, honestly, Kansas City could have scored a touchdown on their first 3 drives and they turned it over.
Yeah.
Every time. All 3 times.
Yeah, and the first one that I saw that he turned over.
That interception where he threw it
Yeah, he no-looked.
Yeah.
But it hit the receiver in the fucking helmet. It's square in the fucking
He wasn't ready. He didn't know it was coming.
You're not ready on a Patrick Mahomes fucking team? You know the way that this works. He might not look at you. Keep your head on a swivel.
He was even looking at him. That was the weird thing. It ate that shit, ate him up, and yeah.
Yeah, but there's got to be a different stat for when it's not
that
the quarterback's fault.
Is sweet as fuck.
Man. Yeah, dude. I was like, God damn, he's got to be pissed. He's like, man, I was about to be on the fucking highlight reel again.
Yeah.
Now you got me on the
Sports Center.
Now you got me on the interception shit. You
just lost 2 points.
But no, obviously, the Chiefs 1-2, unexpected. But even though their defense is struggling, and even though I don't see the same firepower that I maybe have seen in the past from Kansas City, I still have them.
You worried about Hill?
No, I still have them winning the division. I still have them.
So, are teams realizing that if they have to eliminate either Tyreek Hill or Kelsey?
And I think the big thing with Tyreek Hill,
they're doing it with Hill. They're eliminating
what they're doing to Hill too is they're just not letting him go behind him.
Right.
So if
they're
they
jamming
have
him,
to, if they have to, they just dedicate one safety to you. Just run back every time he runs. Every time you see him on the go,
him beat us.
You go back.
Right.
Which I think is the way to go. However, they've shown before in the past that if you do that, he will Travis Kelce you to death.
Do you think Kansas City is still going to come out of the AFC?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not so sure. I mean, it's early, so it's hard to say. Who do I see? The Chargers look good. The Raiders, honestly, they're 3-0 and they look good. So there are some other teams in the AFC that maybe Buffalo looks really good. You could talk me into it. However, proven themselves. Right. I have to say they're the only team that's proven themselves. Right. So these other teams, because everybody else that I just named is young. You know, whatever Buffalo is, they're a young team. Josh Allen's still young. I mean,
they better clean up this fucking turnover bullshit if they want to keep winning.
No, you're right.
Because they're 1-2.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he still fumbled the ball. So it's like I feel
that
good.
That one wasn't really.
I feel
that was a good hit.
It was a good hit.
Dude fucking put his helmet on.
Hold on to the goddamn ball, kid. Hold on to the ball. That's what his coaches are telling him. That's what everybody's telling him. Hold on to the ball. But the Chargers, man, that was really impressive. That was really impressive.
Eckler looked good.
Yeah, Eckler. Their defense, Derwin James. Hey Bear. Oh, I loved it so much.
Finally,
every week, Hey Bear. Every week. That's what you do. Then we go to New Orleans at New England. And what I say, this is what Jameis does. He goes, good game,
bad game. Good game.
So by this, if Josh is right, don't do any Saints next week because they're going to suck. And I don't know who they're playing because they're going to talk about that tomorrow. But
I'm starting Kamara, though.
Yeah, no, you have to do that. But I'm saying
nobody else really stood out in this game. Your boy from New England,
Jacoby Myers. He had a lot of targets. So that's why I picked him up, because in that offense, they don't really have another really great options. I mean,
James White got hurt too.
James White went out, so that should help.
He
him.
might be done for the season.
I know they said with the hip. I have him in the other league, and I started him. That was a real bummer, but I still won.
Supposedly, he had the same type of injury that, God damn it, Fitzpatrick had. Jammed his hip up in
New England looks terrible. Anybody who thinks that they're going to beat Tampa Bay next week.
Oh, yeah, Brady's going back to New England.
Let me just say, as if he didn't need more motivation for this. Now he's lost. Brady off a loss is fiery. He's sitting over there on the sidelines as the time running, as they don't get that onside kick, and he's like, motherfucker. You can see him over there pissed. I'm like, oh, this is great. Honestly, you don't want Tom Brady winning a whole bunch of games early on in the season. It doesn't do him any good. It doesn't do, okay, I shouldn't say.
Keep him interested.
He's the same every time. So I shouldn't say him. I should say the team around him. Because when you're on a Brady-led team, we saw with the Patriots many times, the rest of the guys get a little complacent. They get a little bit where it's like, oh, we don't really have to worry about it. We're going to string off some wins. Brady's the same intensity every time, but to get the rest of the guys there, and I mean, are you running backs going to show up? Is Leonard Fournette going to show up? Are the receivers going to do what they have to do? Like it just gets everybody else motivated.
Bernard had a good game.
Yeah, but then he got banged up right there.
Did he hurt?
I don't even know if he might be out next week, but he did. And Brady
Gronk got hurt too.
Yeah, but they said he's going to play.
They did.
They said he's going to play. The guy in our league, the Turkish guy, he has Logan Thomas and Rob Gronkowski. So I'm going to be sending you some trades, Mr. Honor. I'm going to see what you want for either one. But I need a tight end.
Would you give him Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah. Yep. You can have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You can have a package of some of my other. He needs running backs, and I have a plethora. I did this on purpose where I drafted a bunch just in case. And right now, a lot of them look good. So I need to capitalize off of this week. That's the thing with this. Early on in the season, as the season goes on, you can smell the bullshit a little more. You can go, no, this guy's, look at all these games that he hasn't. But right now, if I have like 2 good games and 1 bad game, I can talk you into it. Yeah. So now I need to do this. Now you need to really.
If you want to move him,
if you want to make trades, now's the time.
Now's the time.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire had the best game that he might have all year. And I hope that you don't watch this on.
And he scored a touchdown. And
I hope you don't watch this on her because take him and give me Gronk.
He won't watch this long into it because we're already 20 minutes in. And he's
just briefly, we're going to do 2 shows this week. We're going to try to do them a little shorter. That's one of the feedbacks that we've been getting is that they're a little long. So we're going to do a 1-hour one today, and then we'll come back and do a 1-hour one tomorrow to talk about next week's games. So we're just going to talk about this week's games today, which get us back on track with Atlanta and the New York Giants, which you would think is the best game of the week if you watch the Red Zone because they fucking loved it. But I hated it. It was a trash game.
Oh, my God.
Both teams looked terrible.
Saquon Barkley looked good.
Whatever.
Finally.
Fantasy-wise, sure. As far as watching the game, the New York Giants suck dick. They
were up like 14-0 in that game.
Terrible. And they let Atlanta come back, which is not to say anything. Atlanta still looks bad. Kyle Pitts has not paid off if you're a fantasy owner of him.
Well, and
Calvin Ridley's going to get looks, but again,
rookie tight ends just don't usually work out.
He looks like a specimen, so I think that's why people freaked out. But
next year, he'll be good.
Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
Oh, wait, back. One more thing about that. If you picked up Cordero Patterson, you're probably they're giving him the ball.
Yeah, but he's a little older, and I just don't know how long this works out. I'd be nervous starting him. And the guy who's our number one, he
started him.
Yeah, he did. And
he should have lost, though.
Hey,
what
listen,
the fuck?
Keep going with that Cordell Patterson as your starting running back.
You keep him.
Go ahead, bro. Because all I saw was the Chiefs had a bad game. He's so heavy relying on that Chiefs. He's Mahomes and Travis Kelce. If the Chiefs have a bad game and anybody else on his team has a bad game, you're beating him. So that's all I need in the playoffs. I want him sitting pretty. I want him to be undefeated. I want him to feel like he's got the world on a string, and I'm going to come cut it.
Oh, wait. Do you know that we play each other this week?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So
Josh's gonna be 1-3.
I don't need you to listen to any of my. Yeah, I don't need you to listen to any of my. Oh no, the comeback kid is here, baby. The comeback kid is coming, and he is here to destroy. Oh shit! But you have Buffalo at Houston. You have Josh Allen at Houston. Oh no. Or wait, is it at Buffalo?
It's in Buffalo. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go, Justin Hebert. So Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
God.
Man, for me though, listen.
But Najee got the ball, and that's good.
Juju went out. Deontay Johnson didn't start. They threw Najee Harris had 14 receptions. 14 receptions.
I didn't even look. I even have him. I didn't really look at his stat
30
line.
points. They checked down to him the entire game. And it's why they lost. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was, as I'm watching it, I was like, man, this isn't going to win you the game. You got to throw the ball down the field. I'd like you to throw it a little more to Chase Claypool. He still had a great game, too. He got me like 18 points. I think he had like 9 catches. But they weren't for very much.
Big Ben sucks.
Big Ben sucks.
Yeah.
Big Ben is done.
Yeah.
He's done, man.
done.
He can't throw the ball.
He's done.
He can't throw the ball. He can't hold on to the ball. He was fumbling it. He was throwing interceptions.
He looks like shit too.
Really bad. Really bad.
He's the opposite of Tom Brady.
Yeah. This is how you don't take care of your body at all.
He's the John Daly.
I'm in pain constantly, but I'm going to figure this out. Yeah, no. I've kind of hitched my wagon to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it really bums me out. However, if this is the game plan.
Right. No, yeah. You'll be
Let's do it.
You'll be
Najee looks great. I really feel vindicated on that. Thank God I had another good week, and hopefully this is just of things to come. Please keep throwing him the ball like that. That was fucking awesome. And 14 catches means he caught it 14 times.
How many targets did he have?
More than that. More than that.
Huh?
16.
That's insane.
Dude.
How many carries did he?
Yeah. I'm telling you. You go ahead and look at my boy, Najee.
I didn't even look at that. That's so
Love
crazy.
you, Najee. Love you. I'm getting that tattoo right here.
I gotta be more prepared.
But Cincinnati, the Cincinnati look good, man. I'll tell you what, Cincinnati's defense is good, and Jamar Chase is good. Joe Mixon's still looking good, and he came out of this healthy. Cincinnati is on the rise. Cincinnati is what I'm talking about when I say, if you're Cincinnati, over the next 4 years, your first round picks don't matter. And I say that because you have a good young team. Go get help to make them better. Go trade first round picks for the best cornerback at that time, if it is Jalen Ramsey. The best, I don't know, go steal a quarterback that you don't need him because you got Joe Burrow, but go steal another receiver. You know what I mean? Like, your first round picks, if I'm Washington and I have a good young core, I just need a quarterback and maybe some other help on defense. What the fuck do I care about Terry McLaurin is not going to stay here forever. Fucking Antonio Gibson, this is lightning in a bottle. Chase Young has probably got 4 years of good play out of him. I just think sometimes these teams that have a good thing going for them, Arizona, what the fuck does your first round picks matter for the next couple of years? What does it matter? First of all, you're going to go deep into the playoffs, so your pick is going to be towards the end of the first round. It's not like you're going to get one of these top premium players. If you can trade with one of these shitty teams, if you can talk the Bears or the Texans into giving you a first round pick for one of their, good play. I don't know. I'm saying Cincinnati, if I'm them, I'm making some trades. They really look like a team that could surprise people. They could even make the playoffs. I think they're a good team.
Yeah, that's when we were kind of sleeping on them.
Yeah, I slept on them for sure. I had them as probably the worst in that division. No, I think I put the Ravens as maybe the worst, but
I put Cincinnati, I think.
Arizona at Jacksonville.
Oh, this game I watched.
And listen, Jacksonville started off pretty well.
They played tough. That was my first note. Jacksonville
they
played tough.
They looked better. Trevor Lawrence is not the reason they're bad.
No.
They're bad because their defense is bad.
I'll tell you what, though. Trevor Lawrence. Hey, Trevor. Learn how to slide, dumbass.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? He's rolling around on the ground. He's gonna get hurt. Yeah,
you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
sliding.
I dropped him. I picked up Derek Carr and dropped him. Derek Carr's
number one on offense.
He's had some good weeks in a row.
I think Arizona was sleeping on Jacksonville too.
Yeah. And then they woke up and they started playing better.
Well, they play the Rams next week,
and of course I dropped James Conner.
He gets 2 touchdowns.
He gets 2 touchdowns. Yeah. However, I started Arizona's defense, and that paid off big for me. They got 18 points. They scored touchdown.
There's another. Yeah. So Jacksonville, they were up 19-10 with 2 minutes left in the half, and then they went into halftime down by 5.
Unbelievable. Now, they had some crazy plays, like you talked about that. They went to kick that 68-yard field goal. By the way, What the fuck are you doing, Arizona? Are you gonna make a 68-yard? I guess we shouldn't say that after Justin Tucker. Fuck off, kickers. But Arizona let a 109-yard play happen. It was pretty incredible.
That was in the third. That was the end of the third quarter that they did that.
Yeah. Robinson
Arizona had a good game. Finally, he got a lot of touches.
Yeah.
Big thing. So with Robinson, he got 21 touches this week. Week 1, he had 8 touches, and week 2, he had 14. So if he keeps getting these touches, you can confidently start him.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is that all of the Jacksonville receivers are rostered in our league.
That is weird.
Shit, I think I would drop almost
Marvin
all of them.
Jones?
Maybe all of them.
That's weird.
I was looking at him.
I don't got one. Yeah, that's.
I was
Let me tell you, there's a lot of people in our league that are not living by what makes you a fantasy legend, the waiver wire. And I don't even mean like you have to pick people up. I'm not saying that, but you should at least be cleaning up your bench.
Right.
If your bench is full of hurt people or like people that have like Alexander still has Ramondre Stevenson.
See, so Deontay Johnson, once they put him in as ruled out, I'll put him on my IR and I pick up a running back as a backup running back.
And to keep him away from all you other motherfuckers. Yeah. I'm going to keep him. I'm going to go with I think if I have people that are hurt and especially that like I'm just going to not play ever again. Let's say I lose let's say Jacoby Myers gets hurt. I'm not going to keep him.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who cares? Even if he comes back in 6 weeks, guess what? I'll drop him. He'll stay out there in the waiver wire. And if I really feel like it, I'll take a chance on it when he comes back. But you only hold on to your top couple of picks. Yeah. He picked Ramondre Stevenson as his 5th pick. I would just like to say that out loud.
I remember when
his 5th
we talked about
this. His 5th pick. Oh, son of a bitch. And they're projecting me as 10. Okay. Hey! Put your whore mouths and shut them. Take all your mouths and close them inside of themselves. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, where were we? Arizona, Jacksonville. That was a weird game. Jacksonville did come out looking good. Urban Meyer still didn't look like he wanted to be there, bro. He wishes
he was back in Florida.
The owner of the Jacksonville is that Khan dude that owns like soccer teams and shit too. He don't give a fuck. Nah. He doesn't know.
He's probably the richest owner in the NFL.
Was there a game this Sunday? We do it every Sunday. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I was asleep. I was banging hookers. Like I was in Abu Dhabi getting sucked off by a harem. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. Why should I? Why should Trevor Lawrence? Fuck off Jacksonville. Yeah, but Arizona looked really good and they bounced back.
Yeah, we'll talk about that sure in a second.
Jets and Denver. Man, ooh, I'm sorry.
I was wrong.
Yeah, the Jets look really bad.
Look like shit.
Zach Wilson looks bad. Their
terrible.
Offensive line sucks, and I feel bad for him. The kid's running for his life. He says hut, and he has no chance. Corey Davis doesn't have a chance to get open because he's got 3 seconds to get rid of the ball, and he doesn't have it. Yeah, he doesn't have it. So, Michael,
I'm gonna hang on to Corey Davis.
No,
junk time. He still scored 8 points.
They might have a better matchup. Yeah. Maybe I'm sleeping on this Denver. Am I sleeping on this Denver team?
Well, Miller's back.
So I know their defense looks better. It's their offense that I question.
They drafted a cornerback, so they got a really good cornerback duo. So they got a good defense.
Okay.
And all Bridgewater has to do is just not suck.
Lost another receiver. They lost Hamler, who was doing okay for them. They lost him for the season.
Yeah, and then did you put Johnson, or what's his name? Tim Patrick.
What's his name picked him up, so I'm kind of upset and just didn't want to put him on there because I don't want to get my hopes up.
But they're a running team.
Tim Patrick, I called him out last week and he had another good week. Yeah. He scored a lot of touchdowns last year, and I picked him up at the end of last year, and he
scored in every game this year.
Yeah. And my guy Javonte Williams looked better. He only got 8 points. I'm sure Melvin Gordon got more, but as we were talking about, those duos that you kind of like, it's like you're seeing who's going to play better. Who am I going to give more looks to? Who out of this tandem do I like more?
They're starting to emerge.
Yeah, they're starting to emerge.
One of the things with rookie running backs is you got to give them some time because it's not just what they do when they get the ball. A lot of, especially what coaches and reasons that they get playing time is can they pass protect?
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm Denver's 3-0. I don't know if I'm sleeping on them. I don't know if I just don't see it.
Is that the best, dude? Or is the AFC West as good as the NFC West? You'd have to say yes.
I guess with the records right now, I think you're going to have to say yes. I mean, they're definitely, as right now, they're the best division in the AFC.
Sure.
Because the rest of the AFC, I just don't see it. It almost seems like Buffalo, Cleveland, and Tennessee are kind of running away with their divisions. I don't see a lot of anybody challenging anybody in those divisions. So, yeah, I think you're right. But it's kind of a weird year so far. Who knows as we go on.
For sure.
But Miami-Vegas, that was a crazy game. Miami was up. Vegas was up. I didn't
watch it.
I think Vegas was up. And Miami came storming. No, maybe it was the other way around.
Miami was up. Yeah.
Miami was up, and Vegas came storming back. Jacoby Brissette, man, this was like the best case scenario for him. This was the best game you're going to get out of him. This was the best that he's got. They still lost the game. However, he checked down to my man Jalen Waddle again and again and again.
And Gesicki had a good game.
I thought you were going
to pick him up.
Yeah, and I still might. He's still out there.
He's still out there, yeah.
I should, because my tight end situation is just fucking terrible. I picked up your guy, Jonnu Smith. He sucks dick. He dropped 5 balls.
They threw them the ball 5 times.
The one I want is, and we'll talk about it here in a second, is Dawson Knox for Buffalo.
Yeah. So there was a discussion on the podcast that I was listening to today, is that if we were redrafting today, Kelsey would be the number 1 overall pick.
Man, I did so many, and listen, I love you, Najee. Keep going, Najee. But I did so many mock drafts where I took him at 3. And I just thought, man, am I fucking stupid? Am I dumb for taking him at 3?
So much better than
he's so much better.
Other
even
tight
Darren
end.
Lawler.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a receiver at your tight end position, and the rest of us are fucking grasping at straws.
If you have Kelsey, you're literally going into every week with a 10-point advantage
on everybody.
At least.
You just up.
Yeah.
You
start plus 10.
Yeah, it sucks. I really should have done it going into next year.
It's hard, though.
Going into next year, I don't think you're wrong.
It's hard.
I don't think you're wrong.
I did some mock drafts where I took Kelsey 1, and I just hated it. It was weird.
Because you look at your running backs and you're like, ugh, this is not it. But I mean, honestly, going back and looking at running backs, guys like Chris Carson, Joe Mixon, that were lower on the tier have done much better. And so you never really know. We're always kind of guessing when it comes to this. But very interesting. Vegas, there's some interesting things on Vegas. Offensively, they're pumping shit out.
And what's funny is Kenyon Drake is not the backup running back. It's fucking Peyton Barber.
I know, I saw that. Kenyon Drake they used as the number 1, but Peyton Barber actually had a better game.
Kenyon Drake, I think they just left him in the same role that he was playing when Josh Jacobs is playing, and then
which I think Josh Jacobs is going to be back this week. That excites me.
He should. I think that he was even not necessarily going to miss this game.
Yeah, there was down to the wire in this game, but yeah, I thought it was an interesting game. It went into overtime. They both had chances where they went down and they punted, and then Vegas came down and they kicked a field goal, and Miami couldn't answer.
Vegas looks good.
Vegas looks good. They're 3-0. Yeah, I was wrong.
I was wrong too.
Now, as we go deeper into this season,
I don't think they're gonna.
Do you have them winning the Super Bowl?
Nah, I don't even have them winning that division. I still don't even.
I still have Kansas City coming out of that.
They're going to make the playoffs, but
yeah, they'll have a hard time because the Chargers are good and the Chiefs are still good.
They got to play the Chiefs and the Chargers and Denver.
The Broncos are going to lose some of these games. I just can't see it. There's no way. I mean, if the Broncos win that division, you fucking cut one of my fingers off. Oh man. Oh shit. I just put that out there. Oh, I hope we don't have to do that. No, I said it.
Wait, just the pinky.
Of course, the pinky.
Just the
pinky. I can.
Have you seen 4 Rooms?
No.
You never saw 4? Oh god, no. I'm not gonna. You should watch 4 Rooms.
Does somebody cut a pinky off? Okay, so then we get to
just watch 4.
So then we get to Tampa Bay and the Rams.
The Rams are legit.
I want Brady to have losses like this early. This is the best for Tom Brady. It gets the rest of the guys motivated. It gets them to where he's pissed at the end of the game. And honestly, I was saying, I switched over to just watch that game with commercials and went away from the Red Zone. Brought to you by the Red Zone. I still want you to be brought to you by. But because I wanted to see every snap of that game, and I mean, even with like 8 minutes left, and it was like, I think it was like 17-31 or something like that. And then it became 17-34. I was still like, they got this. They got this. They can do it. And, Gronk went out. There was no AB. There was no Antonio Brown.
Oh, he was on COVID.
Yeah, he was on COVID, so he didn't play. Their defense has been decimated with injuries. They had no Jason Pierre-Paul for this game. They're still missing Murphy Bunting. The Buccaneers are going to be fine. They're going to be fine. They're still going to win that division. New Orleans didn't impress me that much, so I don't see
Carolina's their biggest competition.
Carolina's their biggest competition, and honestly, I think that they get a little starstruck when they play the Buccaneers.
Well, I think Carolina lost their best player.
Those games with Carolina, I think Carolina and Sam Darnold got his butthole puckered a lot by Tom Brady when he played on the Jets. Remember that was the game where he said, "I'm seeing ghosts." Yeah. That's what Sam Darnold sees. He's like, "I'm seeing ghosts out there. Put me out, coach. I'm getting fucked up." But
I think they have more than 11 guys.
Robert Woods is on the team, okay? Yeah. And you need to start
9 loves 10.
Just God damn it. Respect him a little more. I wish I had Tyler Higbee. He looked good.
Yeah. Well, they're going to throw the ball, so, and they're going to score some points.
Gronk is going to play, and Gronk is still a target for my man. He's still a target.
Had a decent game. He didn't even
goes to him. Yeah.
I think you're right, though. I do think that he's going to try to get that touchdown record.
Yeah, he's trying to get the touchdown record. He's trying to he also trusts him. He trusts him.
He knows where he's going to be.
There's something about that Gronk, Tom Brady. It's the best ever. Yeah. That's the best. That is, honestly, Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, nothing against that. This is better. This is Marvin Harrison is more physically gifted. And what I mean, okay, maybe that sounds fucked up because Gronk is a big guy. But like, Marvin Harrison was fast as fuck. Athletic, great hands. Like, it kind of fit that kind of lanky receiver, NFL, like really good player. Gronk is this big. He's not as fast as Tony Gonzalez. Mm-hmm. He's not as fast as Shannon Sharp was. He doesn't have the same. He does have really great routes. I'm going to take that back. He runs really great. One of the best things about Gronk is that he's a great route runner. But you look at what he's done over his career, and yeah, it's kind of jaded because he's been on a team with. But he's the best tight end of all time. It's hard for me to say that because I love Tony Gonzalez, but
Josh loves Gronk.
Josh loves Gronk. Gronk
and Brady.
Brady. Yeah, if you didn't know.
If you didn't know that.
You didn't know this.
But the Rams are legit, and they are definitely a Super Bowl contender.
The Tom Brady show. That's what
Matt Stafford's badass, and
yeah,
and he loves Cooper Kupp.
The Rams and the Cardinals, and God, I almost just went through them all because
the whole division.
The Seahawks, even though they got beat.
Yeah, honestly, the Seahawks might be the worst team in that division.
Yeah, but they're still like better than half the league.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even though they might be the worst team in that division, they would still beat most of the league, and they still probably will be over 500. That division is crazy. San Francisco had a great game against San Francisco, almost got it done. Green Bay let George Kittle walk all over him at the end of that game. But anyways, I'm getting out of order. Seattle, Minnesota, that was the last game of the day game of the 3:00 games. Minnesota looks good. Offensively.
They've scored over 30 points in every game.
I still like all. KJ Osborne didn't have a great game, but at the end of the game, he had like a catch that pretty much sealed him the win. They're still going to all three of them, and no Dalvin Cook in this game. But Madison looked great, and
he's
if you picked him up and you played him,
if he's still available out there in your league, and you have Dalvin Cook, you should absolutely have that
because this isn't going to be the last injury of Dalvin Cook.
Well, and also that now that if Cook gets hurt, they just put in Madison, and he'll get his 25 touches or 20 touches.
Yeah. So, but Minnesota was pretty dominant in
Justin
that game.
Jefferson had a good game.
Tyler Lockett, they kind of stopped that. You know, the thing.
They probably had to take away a weapon.
They did the same thing. Yeah, they
so
took somebody
maybe
deep
a defensive coordinator will realize that Stafford wants to throw the ball to Cooper Kupp, and they'll take that away.
Please.
You'd think. Maybe.
Break his legs.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, Cooper. I'm sorry. I'm wishing that. But I want both of your legs to be broken. I want you on the Carson Wentz diet immediately. Son of a bitch. Then we go Green Bay. San Francisco was the night.
Is that the opposite of the TB12?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the opposite. The whatever Carson Wentz is on.
We're gonna have to come up with a name for that.
CW2, whatever the fuck.
What's
he's
his
number 2. So the CW2 sucks. You do not want that. All players are like, nah,
CW2 diet.
He's trying to pass it off to the players in the Colts locker room. They're like, nah, we good, man. We're good. Get the fuck out of here with that. Green Bay, San Francisco was a great game. I'm sorry, Carson Wentz. I'm sorry. You're probably a nice guy, but there's something wrong with you, man. Fucking every time you play a football game, how do you sprain both ankles? How does that happen?
That's just funny. That's just funny when I heard it. He's like, both of them?
Even his parents probably laughed. Even his parents were probably like, did you hear what happened to Carson? You just got to stop doing this. Anyways, Green Bay and San Francisco was a great game.
Oh, God.
I don't understand you, Aaron Rodgers. I don't understand you. Do you care? Do you not care? He makes that final,
he's just too cool.
He spikes the ball at the end, gives this big pump, and then he like kind of coolly walks over. I'm like, fuck this guy, man. I don't know. Cool. I just don't like Aaron Rodgers. Alan Lazard went out in that game, so now you lost another weapon. Valdez Scantling didn't even play the end of the game because he had a tweaked ankle or something like that. So you just have Devontae Adams. You just have Aaron Jones. You squeaked out this win. San Francisco honestly gave this away because if they just make a stop and like the linebackers just needed to back up just a little bit. Obviously, he's going to throw it to Devontae Adams. That's what I don't understand about that last play that got them the win, that huge play to Devontae Adams. Who the fuck else is he going to throw it to?
Right?
Why the fuck would you be guarding anyone else? As a matter of fact, they were running a zone, which, okay, fine, if you're going to run a zone, you got to drop back far enough to where they can't. They were going to go for a big play. They had to get down the field. Right. Just didn't understand the defense by the Niners. They gave that ball. Man, also, whatever Carson Wentz must be giving all the running backs their diet.
Sermon actually got the ball.
And then he got hurt.
And he didn't play very well.
Yeah, then he got hurt. So,
Baltimore and San Francisco.
Yeah, whatever's in the water, if you're a running back, stop drinking it because you're all
Don't go there.
Yeah. But San Francisco, listen, Jimmy G, he's not doing bad enough to lose his job.
And they're putting Trey. The weird thing is they're putting Trey Lance in
because they know it's coming. Because Kyle Shanahan is like, this is cute and everything, Jimmy, but listen, like eventually you're going to leave us
halfway through the season.
And honestly, if the plan is what you said, make him look great,
trade him,
and then if you can get first round picks for Jimmy G, oh my! And someone takes that contract, and now I've got Trey Lance on a rookie contract. Holy shit! Mm-hmm. I have fucking won. Kyle Shanahan will be the fucking genius of the year if he can get at first round, just one first round pick. This is a win,
dude.
This is
a
win.
You could get a first round pick for Jimmy G.
Yeah, he probably can. At this point, he probably can. Yeah. Now, who's doing that at this point? If you're the Washington Redskins, does that owner believe
their defense isn't as good as we thought?
Yeah, they're not as good as we thought. So do you really pull that trigger? Does it matter to you? I don't know. Maybe not. And the rest of the league, we really haven't had. There's not an injury that's happened that would make you say that. There really hasn't been another injury because that's what we're waiting for at this point. Yeah. Everyone else has got their starters. There's not an injury other than Washington.
Honestly, I can't think of any other Miami, but why would they do it?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Pittsburgh, maybe.
Miami's a good point. Pittsburgh can't do that. Unless he dies on the field. I mean, unless like something terrible happens to Big Man. He decides to go on another motorcycle ride or something. But so Green Bay, San Francisco, I guess there's some people out there Green Bay wise that maybe they have some backup wide receivers that might be coming up.
I wouldn't do it.
But I wouldn't do it. And then Philly and Dallas was last night.
That game wasn't as close as the final score.
No, Philly scored a lot of late garbage points.
Tell you what, Dallas's O-line is pretty good.
Is it that Dallas is good or that Philly is maybe worse than we thought?
It could be either one.
Because I think what I saw last night is that Philly is bad, and maybe they played above their potential in the first couple of games.
Could be.
I'm still not sold on Dallas. I'm not sold on CeeDee Lamb. I know he's had some good weeks back to back. This season is long. He's kind of lanky. I think he's going to get beat up by this league.
They got a good offense.
They have a good offense.
Their O-line's good. Zeke had a good game.
I hate on them because they're the Cowgirls, and I live here in
Josh
Houston.
doesn't like the Cowboys.
You know Cowgirls fans. They're delusional. They're Super Bowl champs every year. They always talk shit. Anyways, I don't like the Cowgirls, and I know they have a good offense, and I have to take it back. The Washington's not going to win that division. It's going to be Dallas. The rest of the division's pretty bad. The New York Giants still suck, and so does the Eagles.
And Philly's not as good as we thought they were.
No, they're not. I still wouldn't mind some of those receivers like Rieger.
Yeah, Rieger. I actually dropped Rieger in the other league, but
Dallas Goedert is somebody that if you have him, you're lucky because he's actually doing pretty good on the tight end side of things too. There are some tight ends that like T.J. Hockenson, Dallas Goedert.
Well, speaking, since we're done with the game,
so yeah, we get into the waiver
wires, tight ends.
I've got a bunch of them on there just because I'm in desperate need, so I'm looking for them.
Damn, I didn't write him down. Oh, there, Dalton Schultz.
Yeah,
on
the Cowboys. No,
well, he had a big game.
Well, and they split time with him and Blake Jarwin.
Okay.
So,
well, if you look at
kind of like
position rank, I think he's in the top 10 tight ends.
Scored points.
Obviously, he scored 2 touchdowns this week, so that vaults him up there.
He scored points last week too. Yeah. So
if you're looking at a tight end,
listen, I'm looking because Robert Tonyan got me 1 fucking point.
Dalton Schultz.
Yeah. Mike Gesicki, I'm going to look back into.
Gesicki's the
Dawson
other tight
Knox
end.
had a good game, and I think Buffalo might do that a little more. I think they really like that. I saw towards the end of that game, I saw Josh Allen kind of go, I think I like this fucking Dawson Knox guy. I think this is working. And people are going to cover Stephon Diggs heavy. And so, anyways.
And those two tight ends that we just mentioned are both in good offenses that will score lots of points. So.
Speaking of good offensive, lots of points, I put 2 Raiders on here because Hunter Renfrow and Brian Edwards. And Brian Edwards, Hunter Renfrow is getting a lot of targets.
Yeah, and he's got double-digit points every week.
So even though I don't love him as a receiver and I don't think he's that great, he is getting targets. He's getting catches. Brian Edwards late in both of these comeback wins. Brian Edwards now he's ending with about 8 to 9 points, which is not great. However, say an injury happens to one of these guys, Ruggs or Renfrow, I think you could see a big uptick in Brian Edwards, and he looks good.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
He looks good.
I like Brian Edwards.
And that first week he played really well at the end of the game.
He won the game. He scored the last touchdown. Yeah. AJ Green is another interesting one too.
I thought about him too.
I didn't know what to, obviously he went undrafted because we didn't know what he was going to be, but man, I mean,
he's had the same amount of targets in every game. It just seems like he's getting more comfortable in that offense.
Yeah, and Arizona's going to score points. I like it. I mean, especially because
I think that
Hop is going to get doubled. Is going to get doubled,
which is weird. Hopkins hasn't really been that valuable this.
Well, not this last week, but week 2.
The last 2 weeks.
I thought week 2 he had a good week. But week 3, you're right. Now they, what's it called? Jacksonville. That was the plan. Like when you watched that Jacksonville game, they were like, "We're just gonna have to take fucking Hopkins out of this game." So other guys, James Conner dropped you, but again, I don't love it because touchdowns. You split with Chase Edmonds. And they have so many mouths to feed. Right. You don't know when this is going to happen.
And that's going to.
Are you starting him? No,
you're going to have the same issue with any of the Arizona Cardinals because they have so many people. So,
and I saw you picked up Kenneth Gainwell and then dropped him.
Well, he was the one I picked up because I put Deontay Johnson on IR, but. This morning
and it's interesting. He had a bad week, but the Eagles didn't really look very good. But again, he's an interesting. Miles Sanders goes down.
Right.
Keep your eye on him. And then quarterback wise, there's some other people out there like Heineke. And I think did Jared Goff get picked up? I think he did. In our league, I think he did. But Kirk Cousins is out there, and he's had 3 good weeks in a row. Yeah. It's not a bad idea, especially if you're struggling.
Well, again, Minnesota scored over 30 points.
Scoring points. They're a good offense. Yeah. But it was interesting. I was looking up stuff last night about the waiver wire. It's getting tight.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot out there.
Running back wise, you're probably out.
Chuba Hubbard, if he's out there.
Yeah, that'd be impressive if he got drafted.
Madison, Barber, impressive if those other 2 ones don't play.
Peyton Barber's probably out there, but I think Josh Jacobs is coming back, so I'm not crazy about Peyton Barber. But if you're in need, if your running backs have been struggling, I understand.
I know we're up on time, but one name that we didn't talk about, Josh Gordon.
Yeah. To the Chiefs.
The only reason I'm bringing it up, well, first of all, I ain't touching that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You can have him. But
And listen,
everybody's going to want to know.
it's so stupid that this guy's gotten in trouble.
It's insane.
It's so dumb. Who gives a fuck that he smokes weed? Who gives a flying fuck? You have ruined this guy's career, but there are dudes that have been caught on steroids multiple times and they get little 4-game suspensions or 6-game suspensions. Will Fuller gets suspended in and out of his fucking career his whole fucking time. It's a joke. They should be allowed to smoke weed. I'm not touching Josh Gordon. You can if you want.
I don't want him.
It's on the Chiefs.
He's old.
The offense is going to happen, but whatever. So I just want to talk about real briefly before we go the UFC that happened. Did you get to see any of it?
I didn't. No, I talked about it with Uche a little bit.
So
I didn't see any of it.
I didn't buy it, but somehow I saw all the fight. Thank you, internet. Brought to you by Dana White. Brought to you by UFC. Sorry, Dana. I love you, Dana. But no, there was some good fights in there, especially the main event. Man, that was a fucking fight. When it finally comes on ESPN Plus, you'll have to watch it. It was one of the best fights I've seen. Brian Ortega is tough as fuck. But he really just got beat up. I mean, he had some good shots. I had him winning probably the 4th round and the second, maybe the 3rd. Middle of the fight, it kind of seemed like he was getting his wind again. But Volkanovski's great. And I usually don't like watching the full 5-rounders. I love knockouts. I love the violence. But that was a great fight. And speaking of the violence, Nick Diaz and Robbie Lawler went out there and they fucking went. They just were like, we're going to swing. You want to swing? Let's swing. And they just went back and forth. Broke Nick Diaz's nose. And
I heard he eventually just quit.
He got set down, and it's kind of controversial because you don't see this a lot where guys wave off, where something hurts.
Like, I'm done.
It hurts so bad where they kind of, hey, I'm in the middle of talking about something. Not you. Shut your fucking mouth. But yeah, he got hit. He went down. He kind of waved it off. And ideally in the UFC, I think what you're looking for is that Robbie Lawler pounces, continues to do shots until the ref pulls him off. But that's not what happened. The ref jumped in. It was over. Let's be honest. Robbie rocked him, but it was a close fight. Nick won some rounds. But yeah, it was a great fight. There were some other ones too. Dan Hooker came back and he looked really great.
Dan Hooker fight.
It was a decision fight, but still he looked really good. He won the fight easily.
About scraps, man. That motherfucker fight.
Marlon Moraes got knocked out, which is interesting. Marlon Moraes was top of the bantamweights for a while, and now he's lost a couple in a row. He's probably towards the end of his career, which is crazy to say because we thought he was in a title fight less than a year ago. But yeah, UFC, always good. Oh, and Valentina Shevchenko baptized a girl. It was a mauling. It was like, oh no. Girl fights are funny because like sometimes you get 2 girls that it's like, oh, this is evenly matched, and then it's Amanda Nunes versus
weird,
all
like, with women's sports, it's like that.
Yeah,
there's like the disparity between the really good ones and then the next, like in all of them, like women's college basketball. Like,
yeah.
The scores are like they beat them by like 50 points,
and then they'll get evenly matched, and they'll be a real close game.
Soccer, women's soccer. The USA beat somebody like 8 to nothing.
I think that's because like there's a lot of again, America. We've been pumping our kids full of Pop-Tarts and pesticides, and we've got these freaks of nature. But it really happens with guys more than girls. You're gonna get more often than not. I'm being very general here, but you're not gonna get the giant, huge girls that have big builds that are over 6 feet tall that are going to be good at basketball or really good at sports like that. And not that you have to be that in the UFC because Shevchenko's not a big girl at all, but Amanda Nunes could beat up guys. I've said it before. Amanda Nunes, Jake Paul, I fucking promise you she knocks him the fuck out.
Is she going to fight him?
No, I'm just saying.
You thought if he did,
I'm just saying. She wouldn't be able to fight big guys, but like if you had her fight like the 135 pounders or like definitely she would kill the little 125 pounders and she would kill them. The best bet they have for Amanda Nunes is 2 girls on 1. They really should think about it. Have 2 girls in the ring at the same time.
Sounds like a video I watched.
I know. It sounds like I'm joking and I'm looking for a porn, but I'm telling you, the only way that you get Amanda Nunes out of here is that you have one girl to hold her arms back and the other girl do the fucking just kind of beat her up for a little bit. That's the only bet. That's the only chance you got. Amanda Nunes kills all other women. I think she has another fight coming up again where she's going to kill some other girl. Amanda Nunes versus Ronda Rousey. I watch that about once a month at least, just for a good laugh. She absolutely destroyed that woman. I'm sorry, Ronda Rousey, but when she's like holding on to the fence, man, it's just bing, 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 and she's like, oh. God, like Ronda Rousey's face is like, please, someone save me. The only other thing I want to talk about that it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna come up, and he might get some heat for it. Is Peyton Manning and Joe Buck. So last night in his Monday Night Football thing with Eli, he's like talking about how he's like, yeah, I really don't need, because Eli said something that was like smarter than him. And he's like, yeah, I really don't need the guy that I'm doing this with, the color commentator, to be smarter than me about like breaking down coverages. Like, this isn't going to work. Like, I need, like when Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, he gets things wrong every now and then, but Joe Buck doesn't know what he's talking about. So it's perfect because he can just, and listen, I hate Joe Buck. He's my least favorite announcer. So I just thought it was funny as fuck that Peyton called him out like that. And it's going to be, I mean, listen, you kind of took a shot for no reason. Peyton was just trying to be funny, but it was like, ooh, Peyton.
I don't think Peyton gives a fuck.
I don't think he gives a fuck either. I just think it'll be really funny to see. Oh, and did you see the Bill Belichick, it's going to happen more. There's going to be more and more this week where they ask him about Tom Brady, but he just kind of said, he kind of blew the whole thing off and said, I'm just here to talk about next week, and I'm just focused on the game, and I've already talked about this. We already hashed that. Shut the fuck up. Here's my thing with Bill Belichick. Here's the biggest slap in the face to me, bro. Just own up and suck Brady's dick on camera once. Right. That's all he's looking for. That's all we'll let it go. We'll not think that there's this thing between y'all. If you go out there one time, think about how many good things you've heard Bruce Arians say about Tom Brady in the 1 year that they've been together. Think about how many, I could go down the list. Andy Reid talking about Patrick Mahomes, or Pete Carroll talking about Russell Wilson. Like, your guy, Mike Tomlin, even talking about Big Ben over the years. Like, even over the last couple of years where it's gotten bad, and now we see Tomlin not saying such nice things, we really are like, oh, is Tomlin not like Roethlisberger? Brady's whole fucking career, he's had this fucking dickhead that won't say a nice thing about him ever, or if he does, he's like, yeah, Brady played well.
He's like the parent that won't hug you and say that you love you.
That's all we're looking for here.
Give him a fucking hug,
just
man.
say he's the GOAT.
Tell him you love him,
the
Bill.
best. Fuck you. And listen, you know how we played the game last week? Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? Who retires first? Because if you're Robert Kraft, and let's say over the next 4 or 5 years you don't make the playoffs.
How old's Belichick?
And he's getting old as fuck.
He's got to be in his
He's got to be 93. and he's old. He probably doesn't want to do it if he's losing. Who I'm going Belichick retires first.
I'd say Brady will. But I mean that's just a pure, if you're betting on it, like, obviously.
And when I'm right, and he does, the motherfucker said he's going to play till he's 50. I take him at his word, because he said he was going to play till he's 45. He's going to play till he's 45. So if he looks around and he goes,
next year.
And he goes, I do feel pretty good. Fuck it. 50. I'm going to hang a 50 on y'all. That's insane. He's going to do it. I totally believe him. I even think that he loves the game so much. I don't know. I'm about to maybe take this back. I could see him in a situation where he really likes, because he loves competing. I was gonna say he's a backup on a team. I can't see that. I can't see him losing the competition to be a starter and going, okay, I'll be like a coach on the field. I was gonna say maybe he would do it, but it'd have to be a perfect situation.
Think that at this point, if you're the GOAT, once you're done being a starter, you hang it up.
I also think for him too, like let's say there's a year coming up where Tampa Bay doesn't do well in the playoffs. That might sit poorly in his mouth. I think he wants to go out on a win. So I could see that. They win another Super Bowl. I could see him standing up there 45, 46 years old and just going, Giselle going, please, Tom, please come fuck me once. Just come fuck me. Stop fucking the film room. Stop it. And then he goes, okay, you're right. I will come fuck you. But who knows? Anyways, we made it. It's an hour.
An hour.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep it in an hour so that it's not as long. Get out there on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
Tonight's the night.
Pickups.
Tonight, late night. Are you one of those people that stays up late?
No.
And then goes, if I am up late though,
If I'm up, I will.
Let's say it hits like 2:30 and I'm still up. I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to stay up and see what happens. And then because you can go out there and grab free agents that didn't get picked up and you can kind of make moves willy-nilly without the waiver wire, the waiver wait. The waiver wire wait?
If I'm up, I'd do it.
Yeah. But yeah, we will be back tomorrow. 2 shows a week. Get out there on the waiver wire. Become a legend like me, like Najee Harris. Woo! Big W. Thanks, guys.
Bye.